with my own two hands, make it a better place. With my own two hands, make it a kinder place. With my own two hands, with my own two hands, I can make peace on earth. With my own two hands, I can clean up the earth. With my own two hands, I can reach out to you. With my own two hands, with my own two hands, with my own two hands, gonna make it a brighter place. With my own two hands, gonna make it a safer place. With my own two hands, gonna help the human race. With my own two hands, with my own two hands, with my own two hands, I can hold you. With my own two hands, I can comfort you. With my own two hands, but you got to use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. With our own two hands. With our own two hands. With our own two hands. Have you ever seen the sky so beautiful, colorful, wide and wonderful? Have you ever felt the sunshine so brilliantly raining down over you and me? Have you ever wanted more? Wanted more? You've got to keep your mind wide open, all the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open, believe in what you see. Think of all the days you've wasted, worrying, wondering, hopelessly hoping. Think of all the time ahead. Don't hesitate, contemplate. No, it's not too late. Have you ever wanted more? Don't you know there's so much more? You've got to keep your mind wide open, all the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate, greed, and jealousy. We are working to be free.
We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need.
Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building. We're building a new way. Yeah, I heard it. We're building us a new way. Yeah, I heard it on the front line. That we're building us a new way.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Ooh, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yeah, it's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
I can change the world with my own two hands, make it a better place with my own two hands, make it a kinder place with my own two hands, with my own two hands.
I can make peace on earth with my own two hands. I can clean up the earth with my own two hands. I can reach out to you with my own two hands, with my own two hands, with my own two hands.
Gonna make it a brighter place with my own two hands. Gonna make it a safer place with my own two hands. Gonna help the human race with my own two hands. With my own two hands. With my own two hands.
I can hold you with my own two hands.
I can comfort you with my own two hands.
But you got to use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. Use your own two hands. With our own two hands. With our own two hands.
With our own two hands. Have you ever seen the sky so beautiful, colorful, wide and wonderful? Have you ever felt the sunshine so brilliantly raining down over you and me? Have you ever wanted more? Wanted more? to keep your mind wide open. All the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open. Believe in what you see. Think of all the days you've wasted, worrying, wondering, hopelessly hoping. Think of all the time ahead. Don't hesitate, contemplate. No, it's not too late. Have you ever wanted more? Don't you know there's so much more? You've got to keep your mind wide open. All the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open. Believe in what you see. Tomorrow's horizon.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta's live stream Easter service. Chag Sameach to our Passover observing friends. So glad you are here. We have a beautiful service for you. Typically on this morning we'd have a lot of big music, and luckily we have Mark Williams here, who is an orchestra unto himself. We also have a fantastic story for all ages from our brand new DLRE, Laura Beth Brown. If this is your first time watching our live stream services, we hope you will fully participate as we do hymns, sing along from your home. If you're in an apartment, wake up your neighbors. Just really dig in. Light a chalice with us, read along, speak along, those kind of things. Our first hymn is number 128, For All That Is Our Life. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. For sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. For all that is our life, we bring our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. So happy you are here with us. It is the best place to be on the internet in the world.
Good morning and welcome to Easter Sunday with the virtual Easter Sunday with the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. My name is Reverend Taryn Strauss, and I am assuming that you have joined us wearing your Easter best. So I'm imagining you with your Easter hats and suits and ties and dresses. I'm sure I have that right. I'm sure no one is in their pajamas. Wherever you are from, whomever you love, whatever path you are on, you are welcome to worship with us. We are so glad you have chosen to join us for our virtual Easter this morning. My friends, this church has left the building, and we are now worshiping via live stream until further notice. Our staff are working from home, and they can all be reached via our website. Their email addresses are available there. You can see our website and our weekly email update for more news coming your way about our Sunday morning live stream worship, our midweek Vespers and social check-in with each other on Wednesday evenings, and a number of offerings that will be coming to your living room in the coming weeks from our religious education department. So please keep an eye out for that news. We do hope that you are doing your part to stop the spread of this virus by staying home as much as you possibly can. We are now deep into our worship series for this time of pandemic. We are calling How We Thrive. We know these extraordinary times call for extraordinary light. It will not be enough to attempt to keep everything that came before this pandemic, to expect the same things out of ourselves and others. We find ourselves questioning now, do we even want to go back to everything as it was? Now we will need to shine brighter for one another, to encourage each other, to lift each other up. We are in the mystery together now. So please be gentle with yourself, be gentle with each other, be gentle with us. Won't you now please take a moment in our live chat to greet your neighbors who are joining you for worship this morning. Wish them a happy Easter. Check in with a hello across the distance. This is how we will stay socially connected while Don plays for us a little bit. Greet your neighbor. Once again, we are so glad you have chosen to worship with us virtually this morning. And now it is time to get your chalice out from wherever it is and to light your chalice flame along with me as I light our sacred chalice in this sanctuary. And we will say our chalice lighting words together. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
Good morning. This is Joyce Langerman and Zachary Langerman.
Hey there!
We will be leading the movement prayer this morning.
Okay. First, we bow to honor the spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present.
Namaste and amen. Thank you so much, Zach and Joyce.
Our music meditation is a beautiful Easter song called Now the Green Blade Riseth. Now the green blade riseth from the buried grain, wheat that in dark earth many days has lain. Love lives again, that with the dead has been. Love is come again, like wheat that springeth green. In the grave they laid him, love by hatred slain, thinking that never he would wake again. Laid in the earth like grain that sleeps unseen. Love is come again, like wheat that springeth green.
Let us put hands upon hearts and feel the warm connection. Let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love will heal the world. At this time, we hear the joys and sorrows of this congregation. I'm sad to share with you that Dr. Henry Cappy Ricks died yesterday at the age of 101 and a half. He died in his home just the way he wanted. He enjoyed our live-streamed worship last Sunday and visits from UUCA friends and neighbors on his final day of life. We send love to his family and to ourselves and each other, as we cannot gather in person now to honor and celebrate his incredible, fascinating, long, and fruitful life. We will honor him virtually together this coming Wednesday evening in our Vespers service. And in the future, UUCA will host a celebration of life service for Dr. Ricks. Please stay tuned for more information. We celebrate joyfully with UUCA members Amity Parr and Rob Babb. They are the proud new parents of Ada Ray Babb, who was born into the world on April 7th. Both mom and baby are doing very well, and the whole family looks forward to bringing little Ada to UUCA in the future. We send love and healing energy towards Linda Reyes' mother, Mariana, who is in her 80s, Linda's stepfather, Eli, and sister, Marian, who all live in New York City. Her mother, Mariana, and stepfather have been hospitalized with the COVID-19 virus, and her sister has also tested positive for it. Linda asks everyone to please send prayers and healing energy to her family, especially her mother, Mariana, as her condition is the most serious. We send love to Kate Sweeney in her gratitude that her father has been discharged from a Pittsburgh hospital after treatment for pulmonary embolism. He is now resting comfortably at home. We send our love to people in UUCA and in the Atlanta community who are essential workers, delivery people, postal carriers, grocery store clerks, healthcare staff, many of whom are working overtime and under stressful conditions to manage all of our survival during this pandemic. We hold in our hearts people who are living with sickness, or people who are in prison or in detention, or those who are trapped at home in abusive homes. Now more vulnerable than ever in this time of virus and in this volatile time in our nation and our world. May all beings find connection and safety. May all people find comfort. May all of us find ways to be more and more loving to one another. You are invited to speak the names or write the names on this live chat of people you are holding in your heart this Easter morning. People who could use a little extra loving energy coming their way. Write their names into our live chat. Speak their names into this holy moment now. As humans have gathered for millennia, so we gather in our homes across distance today to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves, to humbly acknowledge our mistakes, to ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, to remember that all beings are inextricably and mysteriously connected, and to feel that connection. Now, We still our bodies and we still our minds. Sit in a way you are comfortable, feet on the floor, feeling the earth grounding you, nothing in your hands. Relax your shoulders. Take in a breath and exhale. We relax into this moment that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the wise silence.
When our hearts are wintry, grieving or in pain, love's touch can call us back to life again. Fields of our hearts that dead and bare have been, love is come again, like wheat that springeth green.
You know, it really was a relief to think biblically this week, to revel in the Exodus story of a covenanted people who suffered mightily, enduring plagues, taking a leap of faith to cross a parted river to freedom. Except for the gathering part, this really felt like the perfect year to celebrate Passover, to feel fully the meaning of Dayenu, which means it would have been sufficient. In an interesting twist of modern capitalism and religious identity in America today, it was nearly impossible to find either yeast nor matzah in the grocery stores this week. My sister, who lives in Hyattsville, Maryland, has a rabbi in her neighborhood who made his own matzah and dropped it off on everyone's porches in what could only be described as a very religious-looking cloth sack. Her in-laws grew parsley in their backyard and distributed their bounty to everyone on the block. And so the Passover meal was, for them, the appropriately gathered meal from the community. The network, all these elements woven together by the collective and not just the singular family who has to go it alone. We at UUCA, we have access to this abundant life of the collective, this network. We do not have to go it alone. Not this year, not ever. Last night, UUCA's L'chaim Jewish group held an online Seder via Zoom. They were a scrappy, small group, and they sent me a photo of all of them on the Zoom Seder smiling, raising their glass for the Kaddish. This year, I know Dayenu like I have never known it before. We know that if we can just gather and worship together in person, it will be sufficient. And until then, we know that if we can worship in this way from our homes and still find connection, it will be sufficient. May we never take a hug or a handshake for granted again. Dayenu. May we appreciate each other's skill, all that we are learning together, all that we bring to our community. May we appreciate that with new vigor. And in the spirit of that appreciation, I want to turn you to our fabulous audiovisual team. That's Jeep Hook and Pasha Suverin today and George Macon, who are really the superheroes of this moment, bringing a worshipful experience to you on Sunday mornings and on Wednesday evenings. We are so deeply grateful for the skill and the commitment they bring to this community and to their faith. There are so many ways to give to UUCA, and I really hope they are on the screen now, right in front of you. You can give to our PayPal account. You can text to give. You can give on our website, and you can mail in a check right now to sustain this community of faith and love that seeks to sustain you. Dayenu. This morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received. I hope you are recording your days. I hope you're keeping a journal or recording this experience. What will you remember from this time? I know what I'll remember. I will remember the pile of beautifully written thank you cards, handwritten, that came in the mail from you that I walked into this morning on the front desk. Handwritten cursive letters of gratitude, of connection. I'll remember the feeling of working with you all, this AV team, and how scrappy we are and how intense our love and our commitment to this place. The beautiful music, Mark, that you and Don and so many others are creating in this moment that just carries us through. I'll remember the weird abundance of this time that Joy Niskern Murphy's yoga class had 18 people join online. And when she has her yoga class in the sanctuary, let's just say there are not nearly as many participants. But somehow, you are connecting with your faith in new ways. That's what I'll remember. That we are remembering the way that we are a resource for each other. We're inspiring each other to move our bodies, to sing to each other, to check in and call each other. That we are a part of something greater than each of us. Something that is beautiful and sustaining and somehow just as tangible as ever across the distance. That's what I will remember. Blessings and your gift this morning, may it go far and wide to bring joy and love to those who desperately need it in this time. Amen. Blessed be. Won't you please join me now in the dedication of the offering which is on your screen. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives, and these our offerings. I'm going to open this morning with a poem. The poet Mark Strand wrote his work, The Coming of Light. Even this late it happens, the coming of love, the coming of light. You wake, and the candles are lit as if by themselves. Stars gather, dreams pour into your pillows, sending up warm bouquets of air. Even this late, the bones of the body shine, and tomorrow's dust flares into breath. How are you doing? This is not that rhetorical. I wish I could hear from you. I wonder if this is the most challenging time you have ever lived through, or if this time of collective and individual crisis reminds you of other hard times when you have suffered other moments in your life, and if it reminds you of what got you through then. Will it still help you to thrive today? I can't help but think that this Easter really is about opening up a tomb, pulling back a stone, this act of excavation, following a notion that behind a wall of death there would be impossibly a triumphant resurrection. I think of my own darkest nights and the times when I have found my way toward something a little bit like resurrection. Though I was a joyful and carefree child, at age 10, I suddenly developed a stunning and overwhelming fear of death. It stopped me in my tracks. Now, this was developmentally appropriate for all you child psychologists. Age 8 through 11 is typically when children are able to fully comprehend both the universality and finality of death. For me, I lost interest in all my previous activities in school, in my vibrant friendships. Life had suddenly, all at once, lost its sparkle, its meaning. Each night, I struggled to stay awake, fighting sleep with all my might, fearing that once I succumbed, my eyes might never open again. I was inconsolable, and my Unitarian Universalist working parents of 4, though they tried, were unable to offer much relief or solace in their own agnostic overwhelm. It was a beautiful spring day, much like yesterday, when I trudged to my weekly piano class. I remember the blue skies and flowers blooming just to spite my dark cloud mood. It was all a beautiful lie, I knew it. Everything that lived one day would die. My strict, no-nonsense piano teacher, Anne Monaco, the artistic director of Chicago's Merritt School of Music, well, she welcomed me with a curt, "Late again, Taryn," and immediately demanded my scales. I began to play a few notes, but soon melted into deep, wrenching sobs, slumping on the piano bench, fearing her reproach. She offered me a rare sweetness, asking me what was wrong, and through my hysterical sobbing, I was able to manage a near scream. "I am afraid we all will die." She sat with me for a long time as I cried the most heartbreaking 10-year-old tears. And then quietly, she offered to tell me a true story. See, just 8 months earlier, her husband, the professor, composer, and jazz musician Richard Monaco, who she loved very much, had died of cancer. She told me about the day she was sitting by his bed, and suddenly his heart rate dropped, and his breathing slowed, and it seemed his final moment had arrived. She whispered to him, "Richard, what do you see?" And in a whisper back, he described a tunnel of darkness, a clean, bright light of love, only love. And he said her deceased father was there too, but he was waving him away. Richard took in a breath, and he lived a few more weeks after that. In that moment, in that story, my piano teacher, Anne, she took my fear seriously, and she answered it with her surprisingly powerful faith. I needed to hear about life after death. I needed to know that my piano teacher's faith was strong and clear as the middle C note. Her faith, her belief, it was enough. It was my Dayenu. I didn't need to know for certain what would happen. I just needed to know that she was not afraid and that she was comforted by her faith. This is what we can excavate together, unearthing in the tombs of our broken world a renewed faith in life. To proclaim what the songwriter John Prine calls love, only love, that it will be enough to see us through. So when you are lonely, remember you have your life and you have infinite access to love, only love. When you are sick, remember you are connected to love, only love will never leave you. When you are scared, pull away the stone, empty out the anxiety in your heart, and you will find that love, only love, awaits you. When you are feeling that deep helplessness, excavate your helplessness, and you will find that love, only love, will endure. And each of us, I believe, are excavating now, like Mary Magdalene and the other women in the books of Matthew, Mark, and John. We are pulling back the stone in front of a tomb, and we will never be the same after what we have found there. We are living through something. A writer this week called it the Great Pause. Yes, it is collective trauma, but we are learning the hard way that the pyramids of power we have built, like those Israelites so long ago, will not be what holds us together or cares for us in our times of need. We need a new image, a new design to build for our society, and we are cultivating it now. We are excavating, we are digging into uncharted, untapped soil and bringing forth new life. The Benedictine monk David Steindl-Rast says, our power structures must be replaced by network. And every group, everyone knows that. Monks are by no means the only ones. There are many, many communes and other groups out there that really live network, a network of friends, a network of women who serve, a network of church members. These networks, they are the future. Raimundo Panikkar, one of the great minds of the 20th century, said, the future will not be a new big tower of power. Our hope in the future is the hope into well-trodden paths from house to house. Just these well-trodden paths from house to house. That is the image that holds promise for our future. I guess what I'm saying is that I don't want to go back to the way things were. I am focusing on the tomb because this moment feels so much like we have pulled back a stone to reveal an emptiness, that we are living into what Christians call kenosis, a self-emptying. First, they looked into the tomb and it was empty. This was evidence not of Christ's defeat, but of his supreme power and the power of story across time. That empty tomb came first, just like this empty sanctuary, the empty restaurants, empty museums, empty concert halls, empty airports. Episcopal priest Stephen Paulikas wrote in yesterday's Times that Mahayana Buddhists use the spiritual discipline of meditation to cultivate an acceptance of emptiness, or sunyata, using the Heart Sutra. Emptiness as form. Form is emptiness. This lesson transcends religious divides. Emptiness is not something to fear, but something to explore as a spiritual reality that leads from detachment from self-interest and compassion for the world. And we have emptied the world now. Perhaps we've emptied our lives a little bit. We have unearthed some truths that are now coming out into the light. Do we really still wonder if grocery clerks deserve a living wage? I don't think we'll take them for granted anymore. Now we know those who bring us our food are essential. Our new societal design will be spiritual communal networks, a network of interdependence, the one that Unitarian Universalists have already been tapped into. This is what is being unearthed and birthed and given new life, not a bitter, heartless healthcare system that profits off of surgical procedures, not a prison system that profits off of cash bail, not a detention center system for migrants and refugees, not a student loan structure designed to penalize and keep people working tirelessly to scrape a career together in endless toil. This is, indeed, a great pause. We are serving something else now, not building those pyramids anymore. We are serving our relationships above all else. We understand now that we belong to the earth, to the divine mystery, and to each other. Let us drop all those defenses in our fight to return to the old normal. And I don't want to romanticize people's individual trauma either. This pandemic is ruthlessly exposing our health disparities, our societal disparities. It is taking away beloved fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, mothers, sisters, teachers. It is picking off Black people at alarming rates, people living in poverty, and the sick and the elderly most of all. For many of us, we are now wrestling with daily terror or frustration or grief, and it is difficult to welcome the notion of resurrection. But it is a rigorous joy that comes on Easter morning, not mere happiness as a response to good news or sadness as a response to difficult news. No, joy, gratefulness as a disciplined practice, not because something good happened to you, but because you have the chance to move from this moment into the next moment. Maybe bruised and battered and hobbling, maybe with a river in front of you. But if you remember, I said this before, the story of Exodus goes that the people did not cross that river all at once, but one step at a time, wondering how they would ever make it across to freedom. May you remember you still belong to life, to love, to each other. The stone is being pulled back on our way of life. And this morning, yes, the world seems as empty as Jesus' tomb. The question is, how will we fill it? We will need to excavate this moment for hope, for meaning, for our truth. We will dig out of it. We will need to dig gardens like Liam and his curious garden, to cultivate that network of mutuality that we are becoming, a vast, strong network of love and belonging. Only then will we rise to meet the coming of the light. Amen. Blessed be. May it be so.
Our final hymn this morning for our Easter service is our congregation's favorite hymn, Blue Boat Home, again joined by Mr. Mark Williams, who is an alchemist. What he does is just absolutely magical. I love sitting there watching. One of my favorite moments in singing this song is drifting here with my ship's companions and looking out and seeing all of you. And I miss you this morning, but let us know that we're all on this big blue boat home. We are all still ship's companions. Let us sing together. This is 1064, Blue Boat Home. Below me I feel no motion, standing on these and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry seas, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, only kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me. Hail the great winds urging me on. Greet the infinite sea before me. Sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms. Never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
So for a benediction, you can stay seated because we have something happening after the benediction. The spiritual takeaway is one question. What is being resurrected in you? Contemplate this as you go into this week. How do you connect with the emptiness that comes before new life? I will extinguish our chalice flame, but not the beauty we have cultivated here this morning and the commitment that we have made here, that we belong to one another, that we behold one another, which means thoughtful belonging. Behold life, behold all that you are and all you have. So this is the Sunday of our flower communion, and I would love to thank Bryce Thomason, who found a new skill this week as a flower arranger and arranged this beautiful flower for our pulpit this morning. The Unitarian Universalist flower communion ritual that we at UUCA traditionally do on Easter Sunday comes to us from the Unitarian minister Dr. Norbert Čapek, who in 1923 founded the Unitarian Church of Czechoslovakia. And as he did so, he also created the flower communion. He wanted a new kind of communion, celebrating the earth's bounty and the unique beauty of every being, serving in Czechoslovakia, he dared to preach for many years about spiritual freedom and all the differences that make us beautiful. And he continued to preach this message even when Nazis began to take over Europe. And eventually, in June of 1942, Norbert Čapek was sent to the camp in Dachau. But the example of his ministry triumphed beyond his death, and he created the flower communion and gave it to the world. And it was brought to the United States by his widow, Reverend Maya Čapek. So in the flower communion ceremony, everyone is asked to bring a flower to the sanctuary, which represents their unique beauty and their unique version of their belief and spirit. And then the flowers, each person brings the flowers forward and puts them in one common bouquet. Or because of the size of our congregation, it's usually many bouquets all together to represent the community of unique and wonderful individuals made even more beautiful, more abundant by coming together. And then at the end of the ceremony, everyone is asked to take a flower home with them, to take a little piece of each other, of each other's beauty back with them. And you don't leave with the same flower you showed up with. That's how it feels to be a part of religious community. And Unitarian Universalists have been observing this celebration ever since, finding love and hope reborn. And so, as we close this morning's worship, Easter Sunday, we talked about not doing the flower communion at all, but we have found a way to kind of do it virtually. And we may do it again whenever we return for in-person worship. But for now, I hope you will find the beauty of each other's faces and in our virtual flower celebration. And I want to thank Christine Strain for putting this montage together and for getting me to finally have a good cry last night when I saw all of your faces with your beautiful flowers. I also want to invite you into 30 minutes of online chat together as we watch our flower communion. So go in peace, be loving and beautiful on this chat. Remember, we belong to one another. Go in peace and happy Easter.
Sail away, kill off the hours.